discuss on democracy, stability, and media accountability. Nigeria pledges to sign in towards protecting endangered cultural heritage around the world. Federal government commits to passage of National Disability Bill into law. And kaleidoscope of Nigerian cultures as 2016 Abuja Carnival opens. Hello and thanks for joining us on NTA International News. I am Laure Bala Hassan. 14 more agreements have been signed between Nigeria and the Kingdom of Morocco aimed at enhancing the socio-economic well-being of the two countries and their peoples. This brings to 21 the number of agreements signed after 2 days of high-level talks between President Muhammadu Buhari and King Mohammed VI of Morocco. Nigeria and the Kingdom of Morocco have also resolved to take concrete steps towards the promotion of a regional gas pipeline project that will connect the two countries and several West African states. This is contained in a communique issued at the end of a bilateral discussion between President Muhammadu Buhari and the King of Morocco, Mohammed VI. Details will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletins. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says Nigeria is fully prepared to be part of any declaration that will seek to protect endangered cultural heritage around the world. This pledge is contained in his address at the International Conference on Safeguarding Endangered Cultural Heritage in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Anthony Forson reports.
At the heart of this conference is the urgent need to come up with a declaration that will establish an international funding system that will protect cultural heritage and the creation of an international network of safe havens for temporary protection of cultural heritage threatened by armed conflicts and terrorism. Nigeria's Minister of Information and
Pivot for economic growth has started in Abuja. Glory Ekanem reports that the event kicked off with a carnival float to display the country's rich cultural heritage.
The 4-day carnival is an assemblage of contingents from different states of the Federation, including the FCT, on a location to display an array of Nigeria's cultural endowment to promote culture and tourism for the purpose of economic development of the nation.
This carnival will be able to give people a sense of belonging, give people a reason to celebrate something.
We use it to create wealth, so that's why we are depicting the drum as an avenue for economic growth, our culture. The drum is depicting our culture.
With the carnival's modest takeoff, this year's edition will showcase the Doba, masquerades, boat regatta, food fair, children fiesta, and various exhibitions of Nigeria's artifacts. In Abuja, Glory Ekanem, NTA News.
The Savannah Center for Diplomacy, Democracy and Development Council of the WISE is engaging in sets of activities to strengthen regulatory frameworks on media and practice of journalism in Nigeria. This is coming under the center's Democracy, Stability and Media Accountability project. Timothy Yusuf reports on the project launch in Abuja.
The initiative aims at improving capacity of regulatory agencies to monitor performance and sanction defaulting media houses and journalists in the dissemination of dangerous, hate or inflammatory speeches, premised on the 2015 elections that witnessed use of hate speeches, causing disaffection amongst Nigerians on the basis of ethnicity and religion. Coordinator of the Savannah Center and alternate chairman of the project, Professor Ibrahim Kambari, and some council members said,
hate speech can contribute to horrendous tragedies and massive violation of human rights.
We have a lot of work to do, and so that we don't continue at this pace leading up to another general election.
So I think there's an added responsibility for the media to focus more.
Representing the DG of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, was Executive Director News, Shola Atere, and with others explained the media as a reflection of society.
The truth of the matter is, if we actually want to sustain democracy, Then the institutions of democracy themselves have to be reinforced.
Project Chairman Justice Mohammed Lawal Uwais summed up this way.
We look forward to more interaction and more action to stop hate speech.
Council members are to deliver on a prosperous and politically stable Africa. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Aisha Al-Hassan, says passing the National Disability Bill into law remains the priority of the ministry. The position was unanimously commended by other speakers at the celebration of the 2016 International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Timothy Yusuf again reports.
Lack of global focus on persons with disabilities and its attendant consequences have remained the major challenges that continually threaten human existence and the attainment of all-round meaningful development of societies. This led to the proclamation of December 3rd of every year as International Day of Persons with Disabilities by the United Nations General Assembly in 1992. 36-year-old Lois Auta is among many persons living in Nigeria with disability.
The major challenge is accessibility. We don't have access to infrastructures.
You see banks, you can't enter into banks.
We need more inclusive office.
Let there be a national policy for persons with disability.
Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development Aisha Al-Hassan says government is aware of the plight of persons with disabilities and that conscious efforts are ongoing to tackle them.
The objectives of this year's celebration in Nigeria, among others, to showcase and celebrate the contributions of persons with disabilities in Nigeria as agents of change and development.
Change is beginning with us.
Goodwill messages from local and international partners unanimously called for total inclusiveness of persons with disabilities as well as necessary legislations that will bring discrimination against persons with disabilities to an end. The theme for this year's celebration is achieving 17 goals of the Sustainable Development Goals for the future we want. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The federal government has urged the citizenry to honor Nigeria's fallen heroes and support their families through the purchase of the Armed Forces emblem ahead of the 2017 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, gave the advice when he received in audience a delegation from the Nigerian Fallen Heroes Project, who paid him a visit to solicit support for the project. Justin Bemungi reports.
The Nigeria Fallen Heroes Project, a project powered by the Ministry of Defense and Nigerian Legion to massively promote the 2017 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, decried the
of non-compliant properties. This sometimes occurs due to technical or human error. The training with instructors from the British Royal Air Force is aimed at enhancing the capacity of the Nigerian Armed Forces in ensuring minimal collateral damage. Effective target estimation, the Chief of Defense Staff said, is critical to the Armed Forces' internal and external operations.
This is the Defense Headquarters' response to the challenges of collateral damage and associated targeting issues and operations involving the Armed Forces of Nigeria.
Personnel from the Army, Navy, and Air Force participated in the 2 weeks intensive program. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And on business news, federal government gives approval to reconcile claims of over-deductions on Paris Club loans. Ede Ago has details.
Efforts to commence the refund of over-deductions of 522.74 billion naira on Paris Club loans to state governments has gathered momentum as work to resolve each state's claim is already in progress. Report from the Federal Ministry of Finance says state governments have submitted to the federal government claims of over-deductions.
Part of a force headed to the port town of Kandala, which has been under the control of the insurgents since November. And from Syria comes a report that close to 2/3 of rebel-held areas of East Aleppo have now fallen to the Syrian government after another district was seized. A UK-based monitor said the Tariq al-Bab district fell on Friday, opening up a link between government-held areas and Aleppo's airport. Thousands of people have been displaced, and the United Nations had said
challenges.
There is therefore an urgent need, indeed an imperative necessity, to fundamentally strengthen our foreign policy strategies and diplomatic capability in all its spheres.
The increasing inability of international governance bodies, both at the global and regional level, to regulate the behavior of states and non-state actors have coalesced